Authoring HTML requires little more than a text editor. As we discussed earlier, HTML documents are really nothing more than a text file with a .htm or .html extension, so really almost any text editing tool will suffice. However, authoring websites can be a tedious process, and you're usually going to be writing multiple languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So writing all of that by hand can be really time-consuming. A good HTML editor can help speed up the process and catch syntax errors that you might miss. At a minimum, you're going to want to have a code editing tool that has line numbers, code formatting options, syntax highlighting, and code support for all the languages that you're going to be authoring. If you're working on a team that already authors or edits HTML, chances are your team has a tool that they're comfortable working with. Now, this might be a desktop program like Dreamweaver, Coda, or Sublime, or it might be within the authoring environment of a CMS like WordPress or Expression Engine. If you're already using a desktop editor in your work environment, I recommend using it for this course. If your team is using a CMS, I recommend choosing a basic editor for this course and then focusing on learning the CMS after you've mastered the basics of writing HTML. And that way, you don't have to focus on learning HTML and the CMS at the same time. Now, if you're brand new to web development and you haven't picked a tool yet, I actually recommend trying out several different types of authoring tools before settling on a favorite. My Web Design Fundamentals and CSS Fundamentals courses both have movies in them that give you an overview of a wide range of HTML editors. Try downloading trial versions of a few of them and experiment with them as you begin learning HTML. You're bound to find one that fits your personal preferences. For this course, I'm going to be using Brackets. It's free, it's cross-platform, and it has all the HTML features that you'll need for this course. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of where you can download it and how I set it up. But I'm not going to go into using Brackets beyond some of those basic points. Now, if you decide to use it, there's plenty of documentation on their site to get you started. So you want to go to brackets.io, and you're going to find a big download button. You'll notice it notices that I'm on OS 10, so I'm just going to click that, and it's going to download the DMG file for me. Now open up the DMG file. If you're on a Windows machine, you'll open up the exe file. And it's a fairly simple installation. Either you're going to run the installer on Windows, or on the Mac, you're just going to drag the icon into the Applications folder, and that's it. I'm going to use my new Finder window to go to my Applications, and there I find Brackets. I like adding it to my dock just because it makes it a little bit easier to open up. Now, if you're on a Windows machine, you're going to go into Program Files and find this. You can pin it to your Start menu, or if you're using Windows 8, you can make a tile out of it, however you want to do it. You just want to make sure you can access it in a fairly easy fashion. So Brackets is pretty easy to set up. There aren't a lot of preferences, so you're not going to see me going in and setting up a lot of themes or anything like that. It's going to open up initially to this page. What's really neat about this is it's letting you know that Brackets is built out of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you can edit the editor with the editor itself. It's great. It makes it easier to customize. There are a lot of extensions and things out there for it. So if you're interested in using Brackets, it's really easy to get it set up exactly the way you want it. Now, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the font size a little bit. I can do that by clicking in the window and doing Command+. The only reason I'm doing that is just to make it easier for you guys to read. Now, the other thing I want to show you guys is live preview in Brackets. And this is one of the things that I really like about this. So you have to have Chrome installed. So if you don't have Google Chrome installed, you want to install that. And if Google Chrome is installed, when you have an open HTML file like I do here, if you click on this little lightning bolt icon, it's going to open this page in Chrome. Now, what's really nice about this is this becomes kind of a live preview. If I go back into Brackets, for example, and make a change, getting started with Brackets, and maybe I add an exclamation point there. This is your guide, maybe 2 more exclamation points because I'm very excited about that. If I switch back to Chrome, you can see that it goes ahead and adds those, and it even tells me where I'm focused in my code. So if I were to click a little bit further down the page and select an item, you can see that it shows you exactly where on your page you've selected, which is really neat. So this is a live preview. You can just sort of kick back and forth and check out the changes that you're making. If you want to close it, all you have to do is again click the lightning bolt icon and you've closed it. Now, once you start working on a new project in Brackets, it's pretty easy to work from a root directory. You can see it right over here on the left-hand side. I have a little pane that says Getting Started. When I click on that pull-down menu, I'm prompted to either open a separate folder, or if I've been working in other projects, it'll just go ahead and list my most recent projects. If I click on Open Folder, I can browse anywhere. I'm just going to go out to the desktop to the exercise files that we copied over earlier. And if I say highlight Chapter 1 and click Open, I'm going to see a list of all the directories in Chapter 1. In this case, 01, 02 is the only one in there. But notice that I can go ahead and check out that directory structure and open up files simply by clicking on them. So it's very easy to navigate through your projects using brackets. Remember, for this course, it really doesn't matter which code editing tool you use. You just want to find one that has all the features that you need and that fits your personal preferences.